birthday party one time, and had a lot of fun. Really enjoyed her. She was. I had just moved to that neighborhood, so she became a friend. And the more experience I had with her, the more amazed that I was. And you've heard stories. If you ever want me to not shut up, just ask me about Linda Lauren's stories. And I could just tell you one after the other of just amazing experiences. So her office is right below my office. We have an office in the same building. She has a metaphysical center. And I'm always interested, I'm a business guy first. I always say I'm a business guy first. And I'm always want that edge and always looking for help and advice in that way. So I'd often catch Linda in the parking lot and I'd be like, hey, I'm having this big meeting with this client. What do you think of that? She'd be like, oh, they're going to be a great client. And they would be. Or watch out with them paying. And then I would, sure enough, they would be to watch out.
Well, that's the same reading with us every day.
Watch out for them paying, right? Yeah. Linda needs to come on.
This by the gallon.
Yeah. So as I learned more about that, I'm sure you've all heard of sage and stuff as something that clears energy, a very...
So when a lot of people would buy a house, they go through with sage, right? And
yeah. In fact, one of my husband, when he got his apartment, he's like, oh, it feels really weird. I'm like, get some sage, clear out that energy. It's the previous person's energy. He was like, oh my God, that was amazing. So one day I'm going down into Linda's metaphysical center and she has this homemade bottle, nothing like this. And she's walking around spraying this stuff. And I said, oh, what are you doing? And she goes, oh, it's my grandmother's recipe. She goes, I can't burn sage here. I'll set off the fire alarm. But she goes, this clears the energy. And she goes, and it also raises the vibration so that these people, I guess she was having people in, is going to give a better reading. So I was like, oh, that's amazing. Can I get some? And so she made this homemade batch for me. And for a long time, I had this supply of these homemade batch bottles. And
so this recipe was handed down from a...
Handed down, yeah. From her, I think,
grandmother or grandmother.
She would probably have to tell you exactly who. And so she always had them, and she had a sort of a homey bottle. And that's how I sort of got into business with her, because I said, look, this would really make a great product. And if you know Linda, what's different about her than other psychic mediums is she really wants to help people help themselves. So instead of, even if for a reading, if you've come for a reading on a topic, she won't have you back on the same reading. I've heard her all the time. She'll be like, so tell them, I've already read her on that. There's nothing more to do.
Really?
They
That's
have
interesting.
to, learn for themselves. So she's all about that. And then this is a product. And I said, I'm really interested in this product. And she's like, Todd, I have a full-time job. I'm super busy. She goes, but if it's something you want to pursue, I would be glad to do it with you. So it's been my job to sort of work on the packaging, try and bring it, there was a lot involved in order to bring it to market. To stabilize it. It's a secret recipe, so we also had to just make sure we could get the ingredients.
I didn't even think about the stabilizing, because it has a shelf life.
It has a shelf life, yeah.
So does it have a shelf life?
It does have a shelf life, but it's a long shelf life. Right. I mean, but we had to actually get it professionally tested,
certified.
Actually, and I had quite a few samples to make sure that it was actually right, and then try it to make sure that it really matched the original.
So it says on here, so when I Google this, or when I Googled, so there's a lot of people selling similar things, right? People will sell other sort of things for sprays for rooms or something. But what I saw here that was different, it says Reiki infused. What does that mean?
Well, Linda's a Reiki master. So Reiki, I'm not a Reiki person, so right. I don't know much about Reiki, but it's all about energy, and everything is energy.
It's not even hands-on. It's like she senses the field around someone, right?
Well, Linda, the way she operates is color and energy. So if she sees you, she sees colors around you, and right. She interprets them as what's going to help you.
Having some tech difficulty.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So it's really all about color and energy for you. So Reiki is just energy. So it's also that Reiki energy is put within this bottle. I'm hoping Linda's not going to kill me on that one. But what I wanted to also just explain, so sage clears energy, right? But that's all it does. This also raises the vibration. So the way I use it, and like I said, I'm all about business. I have it right in my conference room. If I'm ever having an important meeting, or even before I came on in here, I made sure I spray it ahead of time, because I want to make sure that everyone's at their best, that we're actually raising and getting the best that we can out of it. Just like the way I would dress for success if I was doing something. You dress right, you want to feel good. I also want to sort of stack things in my favor if I absolutely possibly can.
You need to make a spray for the mic.
Yes, I know. Yeah, maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work. It also smells nice. So there is one of the ingredients in it is rose oil, and so it has that.
So is there a significance of the rose oil versus someone did lemon or citrus? I mean, was there
yes, there absolutely is.
Okay.
It's very specific ingredients because when we actually were getting it manufactured, quite a few of them were not the right, formulation to the same degree. We give them the ingredients, of course, but everything, what I've learned through Linda is it's really all about energy, right? And what I want to also say about this, so the number one seller is the travel spray. And, when you go into a store, have you ever gone into a store and you're like, oh my God, that store's not going to last? Or it's really dead here.
Right.
This is something, and it's the same with feng shui. It's the same with anything in metaphysics. There's always a solution for things, right? And for me in particular, as I've gotten into metaphysics, the more I meditate, the more I'm in tune to energy, the more energy bothers me. So if I go somewhere, especially a hotel room, I've gone with my husband, I'm like, oh my God, Jeffrey, I can't stay in this hotel.
That's a booby trap. A hotel room.
he'll be like-
Think about how many people have cycled through the hotel room,
Absolutely.
right?
And he'll be like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, people had arguments or something. I'm not going to be able to stay here. And fortunately, he usually remembers the vibe spray. I'm a very absent-minded person, actually, in other ways. But now I just have it in
So he
everything.
saves the day, and that way you don't have to go to the front desk and say, we got to change rooms because I don't like the
Especially if you have your dog with you. And
So if you and Jeffrey are traveling, you get a bad feeling for the room, or you just like some bad energy in here. So you would spray this, and then how is
Spray it, go get a Starbucks, come back. It's a completely different feeling. But it's not even about that. So I do it, once you get used to it, I do it for anything because I do want to raise that vibration. We do it in my office. Before I knew about this, when no one was there on the weekend, I often would go into my office and sage the whole office because, the advertising business.
I
It
do.
can often be very negative, right? Even positive things in it. And,
we did this by the gallon, John?
no, you do.
The minute you say that, I'm
Linda's
like,
going to kill me, but I have a water vacuum, and once in a blue moon, I take the bottle and I just pour it into the water
and
vacuum
everything.
and vacuum the whole house. And
what I like about it, when you've sprayed it, is it has a nice scent. It doesn't.
Not overwhelming.
It's not cloying, and it doesn't linger too long. It's a very nice freshener.
So
it's all natural. I'm not into scents myself because I find I'm worried about what I might be.
I love a scent.
Oh, Tim is candles.
So,
anything that changes a mood.
So so this is all made in the U.S. and is it? How would you buy it, and what's the cost?
Okay, it's the large bottle is $19.99 and the travel size is $9.99. The best way to buy it is through lindalauren.com, her site. She has a store there.
So if you're watching on the video, you'll see the couple of the slides have the lindalauren.com. Is that where you would go and order it?
That would be the best place for us. But you can also get it on Etsy. You can also get it on Amazon.com.
Yeah, there it is. There.
It's the number one seller of all our products too. It really does.
Really?
Sell. Once people use it, they come and come again. And I find it even myself. I'm like, ooh, I better stock up on some of this stuff.
Well, I saw her there was a clip I saw probably a couple months ago where she was on Channel 4 or something in the New York affiliate maybe, and she was spraying it in the studio, and I was laughing because she was going around and everything and doing it, and the anchors were egging around. She was like,
Think about a studio. Think about a studio and some of the people that you bring into it, and then you're left with their energy.
Right.
And I've had some wackadoodle people in my office too. It's as soon as they're gone, I'm like, spray that office, and I'm going to get coffee.
I'll say the interesting thing about the energy to me is if anybody has had sports massage or massage therapy, it's a hands-on thing. Mm-hmm. And if you ever talk to a massage therapist and you have a substantive conversation, I often say to some of the guys that I've had massage me, how many massages are you capable of a day? And the guy goes, well, there's the whole physical aspect of your physical energy, but he said there's the whole energistic aspect. And you'll talk to a therapist who will say there's nothing worse than, and they can't control it, is having someone on the table who something's off. And it's not that it's physical or that they're dressed or, there's something off, and they pick up that energy from the massage. And so and how do they get rid of it, and how do they cleanse the room of that feeling? It's fascinating. And you don't, at first you don't think about it, but you think, yeah, people have an aura about them, right?
Everybody does, right? People you instantly like. But what I like about this product, a lot like color therapy, because she does a lot with energy art, Linda Lauren's energy art, which is amazing. But it works whether you believe in it or not, right?
Well, that's the cool
I'm
part,
having my family over who might not believe in this thing, and I know it can be contentious at Christmas. I spray the whole room, and I find that...
And they don't know it.
Because I'm not, Yeah, I'm not going to go and say I'm worried about, something being contentious or even a business
Your
meeting,
energy is going
right?
to muck up the table.
Pull it out.
Yeah, no.
I don't hear you.
But Jeffrey and I are often amazed. He's like, oh, you're right. It wasn't contentious at all. So I chalk it up to the vibe. But I really think that if people knew more, which is why I'm here, if more and more people knew about it, the more people would use it. And like realtors, I never thought of, but when you just thought of it, I thought,
Because it would be a great thing for realtors. It'd be good to
out.
target. Yeah.
And if you're selling and you're still showing your place, before you know people are coming over, you walk around and you do that so that you neutralize the.
If a previous sale had fallen through, something go in and clean it out.
absolutely. Even myself.
I'm already sold on the Christmas dinner aspect.
Yeah, you better,
alone. I'm already thinking group
better get
dinners.
2 gallons. Yeah. So do you think a lot of it? You would mention meditation. Mm-hmm. So do you does meditation make you more intuitive?
100%. 100%. No doubt about it. I'm a very intuitive person now, and I got to say, before I knew meditation, about meditation and really how it took me a long time to learn to meditate properly.
Oh, yeah.
But I am very much way more intuitive at this point now. I meditate every day, though.
I'm not sure I'm capable of meditation. And I'll say it this way. I mentioned it to a yoga instructor of mine. He said, no. He goes, you cycle. He said, you're on your bike for 2 or 3 hours at a kick. He goes, that's a form of meditation.
100%.
But it's not the discipline of sitting and peacefully composing your thoughts and being alone. And, how long do you do? 10 or 15 minutes?
20 minutes. I do 20 minutes
okay.
at night. I set a timer. I usually do 20 minutes. I'll tell you, I've even brought, I've brought all of metaphysics. I'm in a whole different business, as you guys know, in LGBT media. And at a certain point in my life, I said, here I do all these personal practices, and then I don't really do it in the office.
Yeah.
And I finally brought it into the office. So if you go in my conference room, I have a vision board of the accounts that I want to bring in. The vibe is definitely on the side on a buffet there for it. I have color and energy art just to encourage sales, to encourage good business. And like I say, I always look at things from the business angle, but it's usually I hate to say this, but it's for me personally, because I want to succeed and I want to put my best foot forward. So I want to try and have everything stacked in my favor if I can. That's sort of how I really got mostly involved with Linda to begin with.
I think it's very smart.
When I talked to you a couple months ago, you mentioned meditation, and so I tried that weekend, and I would like to be more consistent with it and do it every day if I can. John and I have a couple of other business partners that we work with that swear by meditation as well. My confusion was, do you do it yourself, or do you do one of these self-guided, like a guided meditation? YouTube has lots of things you can type in, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or do you have your own?
I started with guided because it took me a long time to do it. I also, when I started, I did it at the wrong time for me. Everybody is different. So I started in the morning thinking, I'm going to create my day.
That's what I did.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm ready to jump out of bed and go in the morning. So I learned for me, and Linda told me, she's like, Todd, that's not going to work for you. You're not that type of person.
So it's a wind down?
I do it after work, a wind down.
Interesting.
So usually Jeffrey and I get home from work. What's going on? We're like, what? Let's go meditate. He goes to his office. I go to my office. Come back from that. Then we're like ready.
I've learned some. You guys, you and Jeffrey have been amazing influences in my business career and personal life. And I remember one time I was on the phone with you or Jeffrey. I think it was Jeffrey, and the day was going south of the border, and he could tell in my voice. He said, "John," he goes, "we're going to wrap up this call, and you're going to call me back in half an hour. But I want you to leave your office, go anywhere but the space you're in, and I want you to take 10 deep, full breaths." He goes, "Don't skimp." And he goes, I do it. I felt amazingly better. And that's like the simplest thing in the world. I call him back. He's like, there we go.
Well, it all makes sense. And I know I credit Linda with changing my life in that way. And then my ripple passing it on to him. And then we're passing it on to you. And what I was going to say about meditation, I forgot to say, though. So now in my office, we get our day started at 10 o'clock. We all go into the conference room. I usually spray the vibe first before they get there because I get it set up for me and what my objective is. And then we do a 10-minute meditation. We do a guided one with the app Calm.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's a really good one, I have to say.
C-O-M?
C-A-L-M.
Calm.
Calm. And they have all different types, so you can play around with. I haven't really not played around with it that much, but Linda's the one who recommended me that for the office because it's a little different. You're not meditating to download, you're sort of meditating with a purpose. And we want to sort of get that energy moving in the right direction for us.
So how does somebody handle it when you just can't help that you've had a horrible day. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you lost an account. Maybe you lost a loved
If
one.
it was
or
Todd and Jeffrey,
relationship.
they obviously walked out without their shields up that morning.
Yep.
And so, to give you a Star Trek analogy, one time Jeffrey and Todd, I was having one of those days, and they're like, "It's over, it's over." You walked out without your shields up, and I'm like, and then I think it was you. It's just like Star Trek, shields up.
Shields
So
up.
what do you do?
Well, that's a mental game of saying you will not. This I have a little barrier.
If everything's energy, your energy, right? If Linda sees color and energy, this is this aura that's around you. It's all energy. And sometimes you're not prepared for the day, right? You walk out the door, you're just there, and it's almost like your windows are open. Linda used to say as a psychic, for her, it's
windows are
completely
open.
different.
I like
because
that
she
one.
picks up everything,
Right.
the way I don't. And she's like, you got to put shields up. And she said it the same way. So that another thing from Linda. Pretend it's
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Starbucks.
Put your shields up and just I picture mirrors facing out so that my energy is going out and I'm not taking in other people's energy. And everyone's had it in the office when you have this great day. You come in the office and then the one employee comes in last and it's like a black cloud over their head.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I know it instantly now. Okay, when the more and more you're in tune to energy, the more you pick up those vibes. And I've even stopped sometimes.
So what do you do then if an employee comes in like that? Do you
I'll say, hey, let me meet you in the conference room, and I'll go in. I don't want to say any names, and I'll be like, listen, do you need to go
Hey.
home? What's happened today?
Let me meet you
I
in the
don't want
conference
my
room.
Whole office to be infected with that, right? And it's like, hey, maybe you need to take some personal time, or just like what happened to you, go outside. Or if it was me, I'd be like, I'm going to just spray this, and I'm going to
Or
think.
would you just ignore them?
No,
Can't ignore
I
them?
think if you're mindful and if you encourage mindfulness, you can't ignore it.
I only have 6 employees, so it's a little different story. If you're in a giant office,
Yeah, that's true.
Then
That's
that's where you try and control your own space. So you have your shields up, and it extends to your space, and you go about your little day, and you're like, I'm rubber, you're glue. I'm not going to take on any of that. Jeffrey's somebody who's very sensitive, especially I've noticed in our 12-year relationship, as he's gotten more into meditation, he's more open. And I often will say when he has them, I'm like, did you have your shield up? I didn't have my shields up. I didn't have the vibe spray with me. I wasn't, we didn't, it's like, I feel like, I'm a bad student today because I consider myself a student. So everything that you're hearing today is from a student from what I consider my master of teaching.
Linda.
Is Linda. Really an amazing person to help us help ourselves, because
Yeah.
that's all you can really do in a day. You're
But
by
it's
yourself,
habits. So Todd's created these very positive habits with the help of Linda and with Jeffrey of at night I will clear my mind, I will meditate, and I'm amazed. You'll go to sleep, and if you get 7 or 8 hours, you're going to wake up, and you're creating a reality, right? Your new day is going to be this. When I've tried to be more mindful, other than letting the world kind of the dog, the tail wagging the dog. It's that kind of thing where that's the bad day. That's when the tail wags the dog, right?
Yeah, well, in my business, we deal with publishers, and most all they want is more ads, right? So we would end up running around chasing their energy in their day instead of creating the way we want our day to go. And we want the same thing, so it wasn't that we were at cross purposes. So it's just a matter of directing that current, making
Into
it
the right,
flow in
yeah.
your best interest.
Does Linda still do readings?
I'm sure she does. You would just have to go to her, call her office or make an appointment and see. She's got a busy schedule, so.
Okay. So is there time to order this for Christmas? People want to do it for gifts?
Absolutely. It's a great, think about, I went to the Short Hills Mall the other day to get stocking stuffers
know
because my
that
mom's
mall,
coming,
yeah.
right? And you think you could go through a giant mall like that and come out with bags of stocking stuffers. I came home with nothing.
Isn't it amazing?
And
It's amazing.
the travel size I recommend the most only because you can take it with you.
It's small, it's
It gets through
convenient.
security
Yeah. the right amount of liquid, right?
This is the household size. Okay.
No, I go through those though. I mean, I'm somebody who really uses it. So, like I said, I have a water vacuum. I pour half the bottle into.
I
the
love
thing.
that
Of course,
idea.
For me, it's
So head over to lindalauren.com. There's still time to order this and get it for the holidays if you're looking for a unique gift for people. It's the Vibe. It's a I'll see if I can read it without my glasses. It's room energy and clearing spray.
100%.
Is that what I said?
Yes.
Is that right? And it's Reiki infused, which adds an extra boost of energy, and it smells great. I mean, we've cleansed the room here, John, and
Yeah.
Look at me.
If you have a guest after me,
Look at
they're
me.
like made.
Well, the next show is going to be through the ceiling. There's no doubt about that.
Charts,
The
as Gina
charts,
Martina
yeah.
would say. So thank you, Todd Evans, and thanks for introducing us to the Tots Break. Thanks to all of you.
Linda Lauren.
Thank you, Linda.
LindaLauren.com.
LindaLauren.com. LindaLauren.com. And thanks for joining us. Thanks to all of you who are listening to our podcast on Tuesday, which is TFG Unbuttoned. Thanks to our boys in the booth, Steve and Garrett. Thank you, John. Thanks to our friends at Deep Discount. And thank you, Todd. What did I forget? Did I forget something?
Good. Hawthorne.co.
Oh, and Hawthorne.co. Yeah, there's still time to get
Focus. Focus.
Yeah, Focus. Code Focus gives you 10% at Hawthorne.co for men's grooming products and colognes and shampoos and such. So everybody have a great week. Remember, arrive alive. Don't text and drive. I did it wrong.
You did it right. You just reversed the order.
Reverse the order.
It's The Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash. Accessible on all platforms. Subscribe, like, and rate us on your platform of choice. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com.
Who do you have to blow to get a drink around here?